Hey crew, I've got the key to this Lamborghini Urus. And that's the only time I'm gonna say it that way, I promise. We are gonna take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside, because there is a lot going on here. This one is painted in a matte white that costs an extra $11,500, and I'm into it. Because I had one of these for review about a year ago in a blue, and it just made the design overwhelming. While this matte paint job subdues it, it makes the visual punch cleaner. So here at the front, you've got these forks in the air inlets, hexagonal design in the grille, a steeply downturned nose. At the side, there's a set of 23-inch gloss black wheels wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires. And from within those, you can see black painted carbon ceramic brakes. These 10 piston calipers make these brakes the biggest on a production SUV. Stepping back, you see just how low this SUV is and looks, because they emphasize the wheel arches and that just visually lowers it. Getting to the back, the gentle slope of that roofline into a subtle lip spoiler, thin LED taillights. Down low, you've got a quad black tipped exhaust system and this silver painted diffuser. You see the taper of that roofline, the greenhouse too, and that just emphasizes the width of this SUV. It looks so low, so wide. Good in this color, man. Let's check out that interior. The white on black color combo continues inside extensively. You've got these black leather seats with white contrast stitching, white Lamborghini crest embroidered into the headrests, white seat belts, a white leather wrapped headliner, black leather here, black open pore wood trim, white leather here, black suede, white leather, black leather with white contrast stitch, white leather with black contrast stitch. Bang & Olufsen metal speaker covers with this tri-prong design. Stepping inside, that's my seating position at 6 feet tall. I've got plenty of leg room. The foot pockets are tall to slide my feet under. The seat backs are all leather. You've got these harness pass-throughs here that look really cool. 4-zone climate control is standard. These seats are heated in the back as an option, 2 USB ports, an armrest that comes down with cup holders, and a panoramic glass roof. Closing up this rear door, we'll see the soft close feature in action. And in the front, we'll find a lot more luxuries and performance details. Drivers interact with this leather-wrapped flat bottom steering wheel with a metal center marker. There's a digital instrument cluster that's reconfigurable, a head-up display beyond that, 2 entertainment screens. The bottom one is for shortcuts and climate controls. This one up here is for your Apple CarPlay, navigation, so on and so forth. Further down, you've got these cockpit-style driving interactions. Your drive mode selector they call Anima. You've got 7 choices. Pull back on here to get to reverse. On the right side is your individual mode. They call it Ego. On the passenger side, we've got Lamborghini spelled out, and these hexagonal designs on your open pore wood trim. This is a special feeling cabin, but I just want to hear that V8 noise. So let's take it for a drive. Let's fire it up. Or should we launch a missile? Because that's the kind of experience you're getting when you lift up the gates and hit the start-stop button. Oh, maybe you did launch a missile. You hear that backfire? From the twin-turbo V8. We're going to start in Strada drive mode on our Anima selector and pull back to get to reverse, which will prompt us with a surround view camera, a bunch of different camera angle options, including a 3D view. We can pan around the whole vehicle just to, check ourselves out. Yep, still look expensive. And then we'll back it on up. And to engage first gear, this is one of the problems when you have paddles on the steering wheel versus on the column. You have to then, first gear is, you do a little math, okay, it's over here, and you have to go hunt for it. I wish the columns were on the I wish the paddles were on the column, not on the steering wheel. just a practical concern. We're going to head down to the end here. You heard the start-stop system even working right there. That's what happens in Strada drive mode. If you want to turn that off, you can hit this button here, which I'm going to do because who cares about fuel when you can afford the Lamborghini Urus? Okay, environmentally, care about fuel. But just for this brief moment that I'm driving this SUV, I'm going to not care about fuel. How is the turning radius? Well, I'll go over here and try it out. Oh, that's very good. Wow. Oh, you know why? It's because I've got rear wheel steering. That's why. Yeah, so that cuts the turning radius from what would be a larger span to that very tiny little section back there. And then, of course, the handling. Here, the rear wheels are turning in the opposite direction of the front to tighten the radius, but in handling, they will turn in the same direction to give us the feeling of a longer wheelbase and more stability. So now in Strada, you hear that engine a little bit, but it's certainly not on song. You do, however, get the most supple ride quality from your air suspension system. That is a standard feature on the Urus. And you still get ample acceleration. That was maybe a quarter throttle, and it quickly got us up to the speed. The cabin insulation is good. Is it $224,000 SUV good? I don't know. I think I'm getting a little more wind noise than I would expect or want. But despite being on 23-inch wheels, there's not a ton of tire noise. This is a very smooth, flat road, however. Should we hit on those brakes? Oh, gosh, I didn't even... That's like half braking force right there. The carbon ceramics in this SUV are monstrously powerful at pulling us down. Now let's switch into sport drive mode. It's going to open up the baffles and the exhaust a little bit more. Peppier throttle response. And... oh, freaking A. Fudge. Oh, it sounds good, but it pulls better. That is freaking fast. That is crazy. That's crazy. Should we go to manual mode? Do that just by pulling on a paddle. Ultra quick shifts. And titanic thrust. The feel of these paddles is good. Now, they are based on the same paddle design as the RSQ8, but the paddles themselves obviously look distinctive. They look very Lamborghini-esque. The actuation, there's a nice click when you drop down your gear. Mother of pearl. That's ferocious mid-range pull. Oh yeah, you hear that burble? Oh, the overrun. That just doesn't get old. That does not get old. Oh my goodness. And we'll flip it around. No, we're just gonna do it now. I'm gonna go to Corsa, because now we get even more volume. The gauge cluster changes up a little bit. Are the shifts quicker? Oh, it feels like it shifts harder and quicker Oh, I like Corsa. You also get, I don't know if you can see, but on the head-up display, you now get a attack readout across. Oh, mercy. Is it time to talk about the engine yet? We probably should. Okay, 4-liter twin-turbo V8, makes 641 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60. Oh, this snarl. Oh, this snarl. It hits so hard. So hard on every upshift. 0 to 60, Lamborghini says 3.2 seconds. Independent tests have seen even quicker. I would believe even quicker, but we're going to do our own launch a little later. Corsa's amazing. It is amazing. I like Corsa, but for now we're going to go back to Strada. Now the only problem with that is I have to go through all of these different drive modes, descending order to get back to Strada. There's no like up on the thing, it only pulls down. That's kind of frustrating. Yeah, 0 to 63.2 seconds, top speed. This is the fastest SUV in the world. It just happens to be tied with 3 other SUVs, or 2? Yeah, Bentayga, Cayenne Turbo S, and the RSQ8, I think are all at 190 miles per hour. So it's a tie, but it's still the world's fastest SUV. And production SUV, I should specify. Turning on adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, and we'll see how that works. You see how quickly Strada now just brings all the insanity back down to normal? Okay, stays in the lane very well here on this curve. This works well. Nothing bad to say about that. That works great. Now what it doesn't have is a lane change assist feature like you can get in the current crop of Mercedes-Benz and BMW vehicles, but the lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control get the thumbs up. Now hopefully we'll have an opportunity, if not at this corner, the next one, to do a at speed braking and handling section, and we can talk about all the different hardware that's applied to the Urus to make it even better than its performance SUV rivals. Well, I mean, some of its performance SUV rivals have the same tech. It's got active anti-roll bars. It has the rear wheel steering I mentioned. It's got a torque factoring rear differential, and then the carbon ceramic brakes. But let's go to Corsa and attack this corner. Oh my gosh. Now I can go hard on the brakes. Oh, those are so good. Oh, it turns in. Oh my gosh. So that was my fault. I didn't realize I dropped down to first gear. I thought it went into second. It may have shifted down into first on its own because it knew that first was the right gear, but I wasn't prepared for how quickly it accelerated and how quickly I needed to upshift. I hit the upshift, but it took a second, and therefore it was banging off the red line. Oh, that was a very just stable, quick turn in. Gosh, it didn't even feel as heavy as this SUV is. It just pivoted. It just, like, no effort pivoted in that corner, and then it would have been quicker out of the hole if I had been able to upshift faster. Oh, we'll have to do another corner back there. That was sweet. I don't think I've never driven an SUV that feels more confident doing things like that. Hopefully we'll have a shot at launch control here. So I had to flip around to do it, but I'm going to hit the traction control button off, and now we've got launch control capable. I forgot to breathe. I forgot to breathe right there. Holy cow. The nose lifted, but there was no loss of traction. You got 4 driven wheels hurling us forward. Wow. I want to do it again. I want to do it again. Man, just have to be patient. So launch control is great. That's a thing. And Corsa mode is the best thing ever. There is also Ego mode, where it's like your individual mode. You can set up the chassis, the steering, and the suspension however you want it. I've set it up where suspension is as comfortable, as plush, as smooth as possible. The steering feel is sporty. The chassis is a sporty. And we'll take a corner and see how that feels. This corner looks like it'll do the trick. Hard on these brakes. Tuck it in. Power it out. Oh, yeah. And leaving it in auto mode that time, so I don't have to be trusted to do any of the shifting, but otherwise keep it from accelerating. That was great. Gosh, this is a very competent SUV in all the different performance environments. Acceleration, it's got that covered. Handling, definitely has that covered. I think the only SUV that's more enjoyable to drive in an athletic way is probably the Cayenne GTS, and that all comes down to the steering feel, because the steering is just perfectly dialed in that E-rack of the Cayenne GTS. This one, that you get the weight, you get a good sensation of the car's capability in a corner, its limits of grip, but it's not quite as finely tuned as the Cayenne GTS. But capability-wise, this is so good at handling. And hang on, the liftoff. The liftoff exhaust. Oh, the snaps. Oh, the burbles. Oh. As I wrap up my thoughts on the Urus, I think about how successful or not it is at accomplishing the objective, which was to make a daily driver Lamborghini. The Lamborghini part of that is key. Is it a Lamborghini still? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not just an Audi. It's not just an Audi RSQ8. This is something more. The interior extravagance, the exterior extravagance certainly, and the performance flavor is very distinct from the RSQ8. Is it a good daily driver? Well, the seats are very comfortable. The cabin is well insulated, perhaps not as well insulated as I would perhaps expect it. Almost $300,000 as tested. Look at that. It's the most dynamic SUV you can buy, the wildest looking SUV, I think, in production. And so it accomplishes its mission. Is it how I would spend $224,000 to start, $278,000 as tested? I don't know. I think I'd probably want to separate more, have my supercar in the driveway or at home they take out on the weekends, and have my super comfy or really just cool BA looking SUV, which I think is the G63, that I daily drive. That would be me, but this accomplishes its mission, and therefore I have to give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys have enjoyed these POV drive impressions. Please like, comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you haven't already, and I'll see you again